All right, guys, so this is the moment that most of you have not been waiting for, but we're going to talk about these anyways.
Hold on to your butts.
And these, my friends, are the Anta Gh3, also known as Gordon Hayward's third signature shoe. Hey, what's good, guys? My name's Chris. Welcome back to the official WearTesters.com YouTube channel. And before we get started on talking about these guys real quick, we're going to talk about the box. There is a component to the sneaker right here, which they show you how to use inside the box lid. On top of all of that, there's also a cool freaking breakdown right there with all of the tech specs. Now, I grabbed these over at Famuji Sneaker. We'll leave a link down below in the description box. We also have a little promo code where you can get a small percentage off of your purchase. There are two colorways available, one of which I wish I grabbed instead of these. I didn't see them when I grabbed these, but the other one is a Charlotte Hornets colorway, and I think that they're pretty cool. This colorway is not bad either, though. This one gives me kind of like a playoff vibe. Simple, black, white, splash of red. I dig it. Now, the outsole right here is what they're describing as racing tire traction pattern. So basically, we just got a bunch of herringbone. It's kind of the outside area that reminds me more of racing tires, and the rubber feels great. Feels like it's going to grip really well indoors, so I hope that that's true. It does feel a little soft for outdoors. However, this is a Chinese brand and most of their shoes are actually made for outdoor play, so you can always keep that in mind. But because it is a Chinese branded shoe, they also don't go up to super large sizes. They only cater to basically their audience over there overseas, and most of those people don't wear past a size 11. So if you're curious as to why you can't find anything past that size, that's exactly why. Should they make some sizes above size 11? I believe that they should, and I believe that they could, especially because they do sign NBA athletes like Gordon Hayward, like Klay Thompson, and like Klay, for example, wears a size 15. So why his shoe doesn't at least come in that size? I don't know. It probably has something to do with sales. So obviously this is working for them. So I can't really say much other than if you wear past an 11, don't even bother. Now, the cushion itself is a little bit different than what we've seen in the previous iterations. So it is fairly similar, but there's an added new component to it. But basically the main midsole is what they're calling A-Flash Edge Foam. So we got another A-Flash foam. Something that we've seen since the early KT line. And this stuff right here feels a little bit firmer than previous iterations. It still feels slightly bouncy, but not anywhere near as bouncy as previous models. And then in the forefoot, we have I believe it's called Nitro Edge, and it's basically a kind of like a boom puck. Not a puck, it's a big ass piece of it. And boom is what Li Ning uses. If you want to compare it to something else, you can compare it very similarly to Boost. It doesn't quite have a boosty feeling, but it has a super comfortable ride underfoot while providing a lot of court feel and impact protections. So I'm expecting these guys to perform really well, at least in the forefoot area. Again, the rest of the midsole is a little firm, but I think that they're going to play just fine. Now, there are some support features, one of which is the black sidewall section. This is a TPU frame. I don't know exactly why they need it because that midsole doesn't feel like it's extremely bouncy, but maybe it'll get softer over time. And then underfoot, there's actually a torsional midfoot shank plate there as well. The upper itself is not my favorite thing. So the GH1 I loved, and they had a mixture between leather on the toe and then textile in the back. The GH2, I'm not a huge fan of those. I really like the cushion and the traction, but the upper just wasn't as supportive for me personally. And those were made out of pretty much a stretchy knit. This guy right here, there's no leather on it whatsoever. It's just kind of all textile. So the back section is a neoprene style material. The fuse overlays are very apparent. And then the forefoot section is really interesting because it feels like a textile, but it also feels very plasticky. So it's lightweight, very breathable. There's some see-through sections to it. And again, I just wish that there was a little bit of a premium feel to it, but for what they offer overall, as far as performance is concerned, this is pretty much in line with everything else on the market. So I can't complain too much, especially if it works. You guys already know that I like my signature shoes to feel like signature shoes. So this is more of a team shoe feeling with a signature name attached.
We were on the verge of greatness. We were this close.
But one of the cool pieces is actually these straps that you see on the medial and lateral side. These things are really interesting. So you just kind of unhook them, and then when you get inside the shoe, I was curious as to where they were connected. I thought that maybe it was like something inside the shoe to really draw your foot into the back of the shoe or in the heel. It's not that. It's actually attached to the tongue. So instead of having a style kind of like tongue where it's a quarter sleeve, or bungees, which is something that I personally love, these guys right here are actually laced through and up, very similar to where bungees would be placed, and those bungees are attached to, you know, these straps right here. So when you actually pull these down and clamp them up, it's making the top of the shoe or the top of the tongue really push your foot down and stay clamped onto the footbed. So I think that's a really interesting lockdown feature. You can go too tight with it, so be careful. Overall though, I think it's gonna be a really cool thing, and I'm excited to actually try it out on court. And then one of my favorite aspects is inside the shoe. It's something that you can't really see, but the heel sculpting, man. That just looks and feels incredible. I love when they do this. They really don't skimp on the comfort of their shoes as far as Anta is concerned, and I just think that these are gonna be really dope. Now, as far as fit is concerned, they do fit true to size, so that's what I would recommend going with, especially with the lockdown kind of like tongue clamp thing. I think that they fit really, really nicely and really securely. Overall, this is his third shoe. I don't know if you remember his other two.
I'm having a hard time remembering the second shoe.
It's over there. I only play with it a little bit because that was when all of the shutdowns were happening. So I was able to get in like inside of a gym. I played him a little bit and I was like, this upper is just too stretchy, so I ended up taking him off.
Yeah, I just remember with the first shoe, they really went out. They even had the special like barbershop one.
Yeah.
So that obviously left a lasting impression. These seem so tame compared to.
That's why I really wish that I had paid attention and seen the Charlotte colorway. I thought that that one was so much cooler looking. Not that the colorway is like, oh wow, those are amazing. It's just that this is so plain.
Yeah.
And those are fun, especially for a signature shoe where you already know, like, I want those to look like the athlete's team. If it's a player in LA, I want them to be Lakers colors. If it's a player in Chicago, I want them to be Chicago colors. And these are Charlotte. Charlotte doesn't have, outside of LaMelo. You know what I mean? I mean, you can say like, oh, Michael Jordan, because like he sponsors the whole team and stuff, and that's cool and but like, this is,
yeah,
he's their guy. So like, he's not their guy, but like he is one of their guys, you know what I mean? But we're getting a LaMelo, you know, there's two of them where there's like a teal one and then there's another one where there's black and teal.
Oh yes, I saw
of the Puma shoe. And so like, that's where I was like, why didn't I pay closer attention and grab the actual Charlotte colorway of these? Because I just think that they're a lot more fun than this one.
Maybe they popped up after you made the purchase.
They did, but still, like, I just wish I would have waited because I had no idea they were coming. I just had seen Anta show these like on social and I was like, oh, sick, it's a cool new model.
Right.
But that's about it. I was just waiting to see like different colorways. Obviously, we grabbed the first colorway that we can, which is why we end up with this one.
I really like the idea of the straps, just because as somebody who has struggled in stores trying to get into certain pairs of shoes, and so I'm just like, yeah.
That's actually a good point though, because you have like that high instep, right? And so like you can actually unbuckle or unvelcro and then pull those up. So you can really get in and just have it fit the way that it fits your foot.
Right.
Which is pretty cool. It's an interesting lockdown system. I thought that this was gonna be like the Air Jordan 19. That's the one with the Mamba shroud. Yeah, and that one had not just the shroud lockdown straps, but then there was this one in the heel that is incredible. And that thing, like, it actually works. And so I was like, oh, that's why I thought it was gonna draw my foot into the heel.
Yeah.
It didn't. It was something different, not anything bad. I'm just like, oh, I never even thought about using the tongue as a clamp. Actually, they did this kind of before with the clay line with the 5, I think it was.
That big thing that flapped?
Yeah, it was kind of dumb. Like, it didn't work as good as this. Like, this is definitely a bet. Like, if I saw this on a clay shoe, I would have really tied it in with that. I think that would have been cool too. Maybe we'll see it on a clay shoe. I don't know. But anyways, that pretty much takes care of it for these guys. Again, if you're interested in trying out a pair, we're gonna have a link down below in the description box. It'll head you over to Famuji Sneaker where you can check them out. I believe the price was about $130, so it's not too bad. It's not too good. I wish that they were still like $100, but it's the third shoe, so what you gonna do? But anyways, sound off below. Let us know what you think about these. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for all the support, and until next time, guys, have a good one.